Blessings and welcome forward to Reasonings right here at the Tree of Life. I'm your host, the Great Owl, in the presence of my co-host, Brother Ramon Singh. Perfect love, brother. Perfect love. Yes, awesomely divine, I would say, beautiful afternoon at Noisy River. We're in Milegully, Manchester, Jamaica. It's green, it's healthy, the sun is out, everything is so lush and highly vibrational. So in such a highly vibrational moment, I want to talk about a highly vibrational topic because, it's necessary. We're going through weird, questionable times with questionable outcomes in choices. So this topic is on balance. How do we, you, I, us, balance the equation? How do we balance our mental and emotional state? How do we achieve a state of balance and harmony within our current living situation? Now, first of all, you have to be honest. To talk about balance, we would have to talk about imbalance. Pardon me. We would have to talk about imbalance. Because what balance is there without recognizing its polar opposite? We wouldn't grasp the concept of balance if we didn't have imbalance, or the possibility that we would lose harmony with life and the best of possibility. So when one really gets into imbalances, it could be emotional in terms of how we are feeling about things. It could be spiritual. It could be a physical imbalance in terms of a biological ailment, long-term disease or sickness or psychological state we've been carrying for a long time. These things can, make you off balance, meaning you don't operate in the most harmonious possible state of behavior, attitude, or physical work. You're not in the right rhythm. You're missing the mark, you're missing the point. If you're targeting something, you're way off. How do you strike the mark? How do you assess your situation, see where you are, and know how to go to the level of your highest ambition or your highest well-being? Well, recognizing that things aren't working the way that they ought to be working, because you recognize the imbalance, the next thing is to fix it. Fix whatever has been out of sync in your emotional state. If it's an emotional issue, you have to address it, because then it's causing you not to have clear mind at work. And if you're on television or you're a TV presenter, this psychological imbalance is showing up in your live presentation. And we know how agitating it can be when you're doing a video. We don't necessarily cut our videos or such, but sometimes the energy, it's interfering. And so sometimes I'm not on my highest balance, because things are interfering. So how do you focus in that situation where psychologically, something's kind of creeping in and it's kind of messing with your ability to function in your job, in the classroom, maybe in the situation of the family environment? You got to at least recognize that something is affecting the right balance, because that's not how you would like to operate, and that's not the best outcomes you would like to see from your endeavors. So, Brother Singh, how do we achieve balance?
Yes, balance. We have to kind of define balance, balance.
Mm-hmm.
To achieve ultimate, I guess, a peace. You just look for peace, and you just look for proper function in a life. You just want to live your life in a balanced way, meaning that everything balance, you know, everything you live correctly. You see me? You're not in conflict, as I say, imbalance. You see me? Your relationship them good. You know, your financial status good. You know, your mental, you know, that good. You see me? The physical good. Have to achieve ultimate balance in our life and your spiritual life.
Absolutely.
You see me? You and you and your relationship with the Most High, it have to balance in the earth. We can't put anything above the Father. You see me?
So it's about right alignment too. It's like putting things in right alignment. You wouldn't expect to go pick a fruit if there's not a tree. So in essence, you have to put the work in to have the end results of a balanced state of mind. Even though it's a gift we have of God, you know. So it's natural. So let's just say in the most natural state, you would have a harmony, a soundness of mind and body. But then you got to go out in an environment where there's so much different configurations that's happening on a daily basis, and at such, one might draw in this direction, you're going 20 miles an hour, and the other 50, other 70, you're just going all over the place. If you got kids and you've got committed relationship, you've got career, you've got places going, it's a high intensity career where you're traveling a lot on the physical body, meaning you're physically, maybe you're an MMA fighter, maybe she's a model, and you know she's got a kid and she's got a tour and she's got to do these things. Maybe she's an artist, maybe he's an artist, maybe he's a musician, maybe he's physically fighting a lot, you understand me? In terms of maybe he's a soldier, maybe she's a soldier, maybe these jobs take out a lot out of your psychological well-being, out of your physical well-being, and also out of the state of life itself, because you're constantly going up, so it's causing like an imbalance or confusion. In that case now, you would have to then manage. It would be like in my course, I call it self-management. You'd have to learn how to basically compartmentalize, in the sense of a permaculture is my idea of the compartmentalization. So it's not separatism, it's that you have to put things in its right order and its right context. And so when you have things in its right order and its right context, the things that are of the soul, service to the living God, put that at the center of the activity, because that's what sources the energy to all of the other activities.
Yes,
so if you put the Most High at the center of your whole experience and expression of self and being, you will have an eternal source of energy with which to fuel the other activities. Family and intimate relations, they require a lot, but they also give a lot through the experience. So they should be next in line, as well as the purpose should be close. And why I think the purpose should be close? Because if your purpose is too far out of your emotionality and your spirituality and your family experience, you won't have, hallelujah, a lot of passion in it. And I don't think it can drive you past those bitter moments where the imbalances are going to swallow you up. So make sure that your purpose, what drives you, is close to the family, emotional, and to the Spirit of God, wherein all of that is close. Arranging from that now, events, because you believe things, you have a faith. You have a fundamental foundation, groundation, on which things are growing upwards towards visibility. And so, if you got that in alignment, time to God, time to family, time and effort in right purpose will give value in experience, because i.e. it's not like you're taking time away from the source, time away from family, time away from a true purpose, which is going to equate to time away from self. You're giving, adding, creating, accepting value by putting source first, family, purpose. Events will take form from those, i.e. what we call the event of life. It's not just one thing, it's so much things. But if you've got the alignment right, balance will ensue and be maintained. Now, how does imbalance affect such a state of mind? Well, number one, if you got this well-oiled machine, as some psychologists and thinkers love to call it, I call it a proper functionality. Because we are not eternal beings, and there is a transience and a constant reacting with opposite forces, because that's the push and pull of what drives energy in an explicable way, right? We don't have it fully, but we know that that's a part of it. we find that even the landscape won't remain as it is physically, visibly now. Because the season will change, there'll be flowers growing like now in the spring. In the summer it will dry down. In autumn the leaves will be down. So the same environment have all these different elements to it, different actualities to it, in the sameness but yet differential. Life is like that. So even though you got this well-oiled machinery, you have to learn to adjust appropriately, because there will be this constant adjustment even with well-oiled machinery. You got a functionality, but now because you got something good, previously you were serving 21,000 customers, now you're serving 100,000 customers from 80 outlets instead of 60 or 45 outlets. So now you got to see now how that's taking more energy out of your thought process, your sense of being, and ultimately something will suffer. Either the kids, the spouse, God will suffer, and most times, to be honest, I'm not going to say certain lads that don't assume. Okay, I'm not going to say most people suffer God, because I guess some of them do keep God in a lot of sense, in some degree of the core energy. They call it many things. They refer to it as their core ontological, their driving force, their whatever. But God is there somewhere. But what we can say clearly as humans that will suffer is your family relationship and your close friends and your relationship to your purpose. When you go squarely and towards these ideas you have and are unable to deal with the changes of the environment, the overconfidence, sometimes ego, we separate from the things that we were doing the right way. Something will suffer. Something will give, as we say. So examine again the many choices you're making for the different configurations, how to put things in right alignment, so family don't have to suffer. You don't have to move 300 miles away and leave the family, right? You can move the family. Maybe you can start in a small space first and then expand to something bigger. But don't just automatically leave the family out because you're saying, well, that's home, I grew up there, and this is where I'm working, my job is taking me here. Take the family along on an adventure, right? Put a mortgage on the house that you have, let it earn some bills, rent it out, and get yourself a small apartment so that the house can make you some money to make this downscaled life only in its physical appearance give more time in what? In the emotional. You're in a smaller space, you have to interact with each other. Hallelujah. You have to see each other. You have to acknowledge each other. It's not just hit and on the go mansions and you can just escape through the passages. Closeness. Arrange the life in a manner that the source can be glorified, the experience and the energy can be fueled through the family and the purpose. Brother Singh.
We have to set standard. You see me, holy standard, godly standards in our lives. You see me, and say certain things we just not do it. It's just not acceptable. Because that I gonna get we out of balance and balance. You see me? In your balance, but certain things I gonna get you out of it.
Naturally.
You see me? Like how I am a filmmaker, video maker, photographer. Enough time artists come to me and want me to do music videos. I'm going to say, alright, but let me listen to it first before I say anything.
Yes.
And if it's some negative music, I just not promote it. I'm going to say, sorry brother, I just not going to help you. Me not support them things.
Absolutely.
I'm teaching now about vibration and say, negative vibration, positive vibration, about mind control. So right now what you are doing, you are create a mind control tool of negative vibration. And me not support that. Me not gonna just say no, Me tell him why me say no.
Understood, yes.
Me just not do that job. It could have 1 million, 2 million. Me just not do it.
Absolutely.
I know my vibration that not do it God. But from it I do it God, I say yes brother.
Yes. Yes.
Well I get discount, maybe feel free. You see me? I say I God you deal with. Come in.
True.
You see me? Let me help you.
True.
But from some negative things, so me set my standard.
Yes.
and say, no, sir, me not cross certain line. No
Yes.
matter how much money
Yes.
them want come offer. Me just nah do it. You know? Some naked woman a dance up and thing. No, no, no. Me nah do part of
Absolutely.
that, you know? But you talk about God and up full vibrational things.
Yeah.
I say, yeah. You know? So we as Christians, we have to set standards. And certain things, even if your job I make you do certain things, maybe we have to think for change your job. You know? Find something where your heart feel more pleasing doing. Other than the job will get you out of your balance and get your stress out, and
True that.
maybe if you apply to somewhere, you get better pay, probably double the pay, and you have no stress, you're at peace and you love your job. Maybe certain changes necessary to achieve balance.
Absolutely.
Certain things
never
just
can
have
tell.
to let go to achieve balance. And certain things have to achieve
Yes.
to achieve balance.
True.
You see me?
True. There's levels of growth. You have to be willing to grow within yourself, as you said, set those personal standards in faith, in application as well too, because sometimes some people aren't working up to their full potential in order to achieve the kind of balance they have set for themselves. So sometimes they have goals, desires around like the family needs to get the family out of the situation the family is in into another situation of better care and responsibility and protection. However, sometimes because they are bombarded sometimes so much by the actuality of being in these situations that demand so much of them, seeing so much of their fellow intimate personal family members in a hurtful situation, a situation of depravity, it pushes a lot of people out of balance, and so they feel themselves a failure, almost sometimes leading to a burnout where they overwork themselves, right? And they're just not working smart enough, right? Because they're uneasy, they're not calm, they're not relaxed, and they're not focused. So when you're going towards that kind of a focus, experience, intent, something that you desire, especially for like your family, there's energy in the cosmos. God blesses you with energy for the function that you desire, especially when it's family, and especially when you're bringing the family along the path with faith to the kingdom. Hallelujah. And it's something that God always supports. So a lot of times I know individuals out there saying, I'm not like my cousin, my brother, or the one who has forgotten the family. I'm the one who wants to help the family, but my financial situations aren't good. My relationships aren't good. My outcomes aren't good. But the truth is, you are overworking yourself. And even though your priorities are focused in the right direction, you're kind of unbalancing yourself by not seeing clearly the ways in which you should express that desire. You understand? Too much effort is being placed in the wrong direction. Reassess what you're doing. Give yourself a break. Love yourself. Hallelujah. Allow the love of God to express not just as your end goal, but as your everyday. Your everyday, the vibration you carry. So you might not be able to buy mom that car that you've been planning for 8 years just to show that you love her because you know what she did for you so that you could go to college. You understand? You understand what I mean? It's off balancing you. It's not your job that's doing it. It's those little things that you aren't fulfilling because they're emotional. So you got to understand it's emotional. It's close to the source of your being. And because it's close to the source, what gives you energy, it's hurting you because on the surface you're unable to fulfill a deep, heartfelt desire. You got to give yourself a break, cut yourself some slack. You're pressuring yourself too much. And as such, that energy needs to be channeled appropriately. Sometimes your presence within your family situations, you got a good job, you got a reasonably low-cost apartment so that you can support the family endeavors. But every time you come over, you feel so sad because you see how they're living, right? You know that you're working so hard, but you still see much deficit. Guess what? You're approaching a lot of saying, bring it clearer. because you're so fixated sometimes on the environment and on keeping food on your family's table, keeping them in school and clothes, you're forgetting one thing. They're seeing you stressed. They're seeing you irritable. They're seeing you angry. So you are providing for them. You are working so hard. And when you see the house not clean, and when you see the yard like that, and when you see them in that state, it's angering you because you're working so hard. And you're saying, I'm not just doing this for me. I'm doing this for you guys. And look how you guys are acting. It's ripping at you. But guess what you're not realizing? You're seeing it too close. You, the being, has to relax. You know what you're doing. Sometimes you come over, it should not be about the bills. It should not be about what they need. It should be about you being big sister and big brother. Just come over and bless up your brother. You know what I mean? Just come over and just be there with mom and cook dinner in the country ass kitchen with the simple stuff and not pressure your mind. The Spirit is saying to me to tell you why that's important. Because you are imparting a lot more in good vibrations than you're doing in the other state of mind. Hallelujah. You are being more of an inspiration to your brothers and sisters, to your mother. Sometimes your mother don't need that car. The fact that you got a car and you can take her to that nice little apartment, it's small and you know it doesn't hold everyone. They don't necessarily want to come live at the apartment. Sometimes it's good that they can just come over for a night or two. Hallelujah. That's all. Driving their big daughter's car or their little daughter's car. Come over and spend some time with their son, their brother, their cousin. That's all. It inspires them, yeah, to have their own and breaks you out of that deep, unbalanced family experience. So when you're doing it that way, when you hang out with your younger brothers and sisters and you go over to the family house and you cook the food in this way, you wash some clothes because there's no machine there, you get back to a calmness and a love. And you get good vibes from your family. You don't just see them as in need. You don't just see them as giving trouble. You see the beauty and the joy and you laugh and you smile and you're back in balance. And you're back on that state of inspiration. Brother Singh.
Yes, I have to balance all aspects of life as we previously said, you know. But we want to go a little more in depth, you know, to balance out the family life. As what you just said too, you know. Balance the family life for real. You know, spend time with family for real.
True.
You know, but not too much, for take away too much from the other part of your life.
True that.
Spend time with your friends.
Yes. Hallelujah.
Spend time at work.
Yes.
But don't bring work come home. But take away family time, you know?
Absolutely.
And don't make friends take away family time too.
Hallelujah.
And same vice versa. Because too much family might make you can't really spend time with nobody else, you know?
Narrow-minded, yeah?
Yeah, at the balance, because we need friends.
Hallelujah.
You know?
Yes.
We need family. We need to communicate our work, you know? Balance our work. We have to balance out with the Most High, you know?
Absolutely.
We have to balance with the Most High. Take time for reading word, you know? Have a discipline, you know? If you don't like read it, listen to the audiobook of the Bible.
Hallelujah.
You know? Just hold a meds with the Father. You know? Take time for prayer. Take time for sing. Singing, you know.
Yes.
Lift up your energy, you know, just make your balance. It balance you out when you glorify the Most High. Worship the Most High. And free up your heart. You see me?
Yes, man.
Free up your soul. Just singing alone and smiling. Happiness.
True.
You know?
High vibrational things, eh?
Yes, I.
Lift you out of any low vibration. Balance out any scales. More than the weight and scales.
Yeah, man, and careful of the distractions, you know? Because sometimes all me guilty, you know? The distractions, only for distractions, they out there. But we have to balance it now and say, no, man. Too much of them worldly things, yeah. Holy in some godly thing right now, you see me?
Focus.
Godly.
Yes.
Yeah, balance out the thing, man. Because we need to know about the world too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We can't just know about God and don't know nothing about the world.
Be in the
That
world,
means-
but not of the world.
Yeah. You see, we have to know if we trod through Babylon, and we have to know the laws of Babylon. We have to know many things of Babylon. You see me? In
True
order
that.
to operate in a Babylon. Because
True.
we're there.
True.
You see
True.
me?
True.
So we have to balance out the connection with the Most High. We have to always connected with the Most High. And not
Absolutely.
make Babylon
Hallelujah.
take control.
Yeah.
You see me?
Are we too connected to Babylon? That is what causes a whole heap of imbalance, you know,
Yes,
brother.
sir.
And so much people, them whole outlook again is on the system design. It's like somebody got the keys to harmony for them. So when they push the key or the dial from harmony to disharmony, the people are like this, oh my God, we're gonna die, right? And so the power of their whole sense of balance is in somebody's hand. And we're not negating that there's not a power system and structure to life. No one is saying that a God have rules and laws. So how could we say otherwise? So the universe that the Lord has made, the cosmic, the living cosmos, has laws. So that means that there's laws of operation in being, right? So when you are too connected to the laws of Babylon, the expectations and the power and the system and the designs of Babylon, meaning of the fallen system, the Antichrist system, that which takes you away from godliness, you're going to act like that. You're going to be imbalanced. You're going to be unbalanced on the spectrum of real. So the essence of as you unravel the imbalances, it's to actually be connected, rooted and grounded in Yeshua Mashiach, hallelujah, in the truth of the living God, in the truth of the faith that is born from the living God. Balance out the family matters and the family affairs. Bring harmony in all aspects of your life, because you can take from family, give to friend, and friend to family, and from God to family. All has their proper place and alignment in the complete nature of what life is. And if you apply wholesomely all things, the end result shall be thus. So, blessings to you once again. We want to commend you for being awesomely balanced in between all these network offerings. You chose to spend some moment with Seala Media, with the great owl, Brother Ramon Singh, and all the alignments that is going through this in the spirit of Yeshua Mashiach, Jesus Christ of Nazareth, Yahuwah Yahweh, divine Elohim, Elon Elon, blessing and divine love. Majestic. Until next time, this has been the Great Owl and my co-host, Brother Singh, Reasonings at the Tree of Life, reminding you to stay on a balanced path of fulfillment. Perfect. Perfect love, brother. Perfect love.